What's up, everybody?
What's going on,
We
boys?
are live, Black Lodge Games. You know it. Where is my chat? There it is. There it is. We got the chat here. How is everyone? We are not quite on time this time. We'll admit it, just this once. I saw that we had a $5 super chat before we started the goal.
Whoa.
We will include that towards our goal because tonight we have a very special giveaway. We're celebrating 15,000 subscribers. We passed that mark, and tonight,
Hell yeah.
we got something not miniature, but huge,
That's right.
which is this giant white dragon. An adult white dragon mini. It's gigantic. You can paint it to not be white if you want.
Or you could possibly not
You
confirm
can't use
or
it. You
deny.
can't use it in your game though if you do that.
Yeah, you definitely can't use it in
yeah.
your game. Yeah.
But it's
Well, what I was going to
this
say
thing
is they
is
could wait, but
fucking
they shouldn't
huge
wait.
and awesome. And if you want
Yeah.
this, $5 gets you a buy-in for the raffle.
That's right.
20 super chats. If at the end of the stream, we've got 19 now because we got that one. We will get to it. We will read it. But we'll ship this out to you if you're in the US, and it's pretty rad. I'm not gonna lie. No music right now because we have other technical considerations. We will be reacting to someone else's video at some point. But let's say hello to everybody. See what we
who's
got.
here?
Who's here? What we got going on? Sorry, I didn't mean to stab you with that, but I want to sit back a little bit, and my eyes aren't so good. Give me a little ASMR. There you go. Oh, and other huge news. If you check the pinned comment,
That's right.
we do have the pre-launch page up for BloodMoor campaign setting for Shadowdark RPG. This is our follow-up to the Shucked Oyster, the full campaign setting for the Shucked
right.
Oyster. Go sign up for that now. Click on that link. Go hit get notified, and it'll let you know when it launches. The launch date is June 3rd, the day before North Texas RPG Con. We're really, really excited about this.
Yeah. And it'll be here before you know it.
Oh, we got it. We got another super chat coming in.
Admit that you were late this time, but you've been on time every other time.
Correct.
Yeah, that is correct. Yeah. Everyone always gives us guff about that too, which makes no sense to me. Let me see if I can find this other
But
super
it's very
chat.
funny.
Yeah, and thank you for the $5. And we had Crublord Spiderpig, who was a winner, I believe,
That's
of one
true.
of our previous
I don't remember
giveaways.
what he won. But
I don't remember either, but he did receive it.
Something good.
Won't be on tonight due to job stuff, but have a great stream. I'm about to introduce my players to Zahak stuff. Yes,
Oh,
keep up the
nice.
good work. And that's another thing. This week we
PDF
released
is out.
version
1.0.
1.0 of the Cults of Zahak PDF has been delivered via Drive-Thru RPG. So if you supported that Kickstarter, go check your email. Check your inbox, check your spam, check your promotions folder. The link will be there. We caught a couple of errors that were pointed out. Tora, thank you very much. And one that I caught myself, and then someone else in our locals caught one. So we fixed those, updated the files already. We're just waiting on a couple of pieces of art to come in. And,
Of which we got another
we got another
draft of, and it looks
it's
awesome.
so cool. So as soon as we get those pages in, then we'll do the proofing process and all of that.
Right.
But the book's looking pretty good right now. I haven't seen, nothing has popped out at me, which is great. But that's ready and that's coming. The proofing process for that'll start very, very soon. But the book is done. You can use it at your table. We've already got a couple of, someone said that they're already adapting it out of Mithras to a different game system.
Nice.
To bring it in, which is awesome. And we encourage people to do that. It's also going to be Orc licensed because it's based off of Orc licensed material. So you can take all of this stuff and use it to make your own stuff, which is cool. But
all that being said,
we're cooking on BloodMoor now. And
it's very fun.
it's very, very fun.
We've got a lot written down
exciting.
already.
Yeah, we've got a lot written down. We've got our the massive campaign setting map. We got the pencil sketches in on that today, and that's
real
getting
good.
inked. We'll probably have that next week. It looks fucking awesome. And someone else out there who we'll reveal a bit later, but someone from the BLG community and many communities that you may be a part of is going to be doing maps for us as well of all of the countries that we have in BloodMoor, of which there are many. So anyway, that's the That's the pitch. That's the shill.
That's what's been going on.
Go sign up for BloodMoor. This one is going to be so fucking good. It's really taking the shucked oyster kind of thing to the next level. Let's see. Oh god, my pinned comment is fucking up me being able to see the very first chat. Sorry for spoiling Praise of Folly's thesis, but it floors me with how dumb it is.
But we did say it was wrong, and it is.
Yeah, and we'll be talking about
that.
Conan the Barbarian. I've read about half of this. I need to get back to it because I did that in like 3 days when I first got that book.
Hell yeah.
Because I love Conan. But we will be talking about that a bit. That dude knows what is best in life. Exactly. What is best in life? Getting signed up for the BloodMoor Kickstarter.
That's right.
In the book, Conan knows like 12 languages and is an amazing sailor. Yeah.
And he's amazing at many things.
Yeah. He's
amazing at most things that he does.
Yeah, he's amazing at everything he does, and he's smart. Mm-hmm. He has an implicit philosophy, I would say. It's not like he wrote a treatise on it, but except through carving it into the flesh of his enemies.
An implicit conviction.
Yeah.
Rather than a philosophy
he has
per se.
An incredible sense of life.
Which we'll get to all of this in due time as we refute these unfounded opinions.
Not going to be able to watch live, but wanted to say I got my Zahak PDF and Shadows over Avlok looks dope. Yes,
Thank
it does.
you, man.
It's really good. It has, and here's the thing: Cults of Zahak is like 50% longer than the Shucked Oyster, including the Shucked Oyster's like stretch goals and appendices and everything.
Yeah,
it's fucking huge. It's the
it is
PDF,
once again much bigger than we thought it was.
Yeah, the PDF is fully internally linked, so you can navigate around it very easily. It's got a full index now. It's really, really good, and the Web of Intrigue is more than double the size of the one in the Shucked Oyster. I think we had 12 patrons in the Shucked Oyster, and that was the meat of the book.
Yeah.
This one has like 26, I think. 25.
It's a lot.
It's a lot. What the fuck is a theory cell?
Oh man, you haven't been on the internet long
you're
enough.
Not terminally online enough. You'll find out. An incel who theory crafts about things he doesn't understand would be my guess. So, incel, for those of you who don't actually know what the term incel means, it means involuntarily celibate. It doesn't just mean troll or mean guy or angry man. It means someone who cannot get laid. They are celibate involuntarily. Now, this has been memed into all sorts of other things.
Yes.
A femcel would be a female incel. A theory cell has nothing to do really with getting laid at this point. It's been iterated and
it's been born of the meme.
Born of the meme, but this is someone
and
who
has become its own meme, which has spawned other memes, many others.
Right, someone who is who's a theory crafter, and
like in video games or
right.
Something.
And Conan is not a theory crafter. He's not a theory cell.
Right, that is true. He is not an incel either.
Right,
that is certainly for sure.
Dungeon of Terra, good evening all. The rum is good. Good. We've got our LaCroix. Or just someone who maths the fun out of stuff. Exactly. We say we are math cells because neither of us is particularly gifted at mathematics. Rather than be a swole badass with a huge sword. Yeah, exactly.
That's right.
Oof, yeah, that definition definitely fits. If you have to ask, you are one. Yeah.
Many such cases.
Yeah, what is best in life?
We've already said that.
Yeah.
Getting signed up for notification
BloodMoor.
on the pre-launch page.
For the BloodMoor campaign
That's
setting.
right. And everything else we do after that.
Playing RPGs. Yeah, what is best in life? Playing RPGs in character.
That's also true.
Yeah. To crush your enemies, see them driven before you, and to hear the lamentations of their women. Yes. Excuse me. By the way, loving the Cults of Zahak so far.
Nice.
Thank you.
Thank you.
That makes me very happy.
I'm very interested to hear what people have to say about the implicit campaign setting and the world of Avlok.
Yeah, it's there's a larger campaign setting there
Right.
that we
is,
will explore at a
that is
future
for
date.
later.
Yeah, it is for later. I don't play Mithras. I got this because it sounded cool. That's a good reason to get it.
Yeah.
And you should play Mithras, exactly. I will do, but the next game on my list is Axe 2. A good
Nice.
choice. Conan gets the game to the table. Thank you for our moderator, Malachi. Unlike those who just sit and discuss theory. Exactly. Better with Bacon's here. Good to see you, man. Hither came BLG with gigantic melancholies and gigantic mirth to tread the jeweled thrones of D&D tube under their shoeless feet. Yeah,
That's right.
That's right. We're back to, it's getting warm again.
it's hot outside.
The feet are back.
That's right.
Yeah. The feet are back. The bathwater's flowing. Theory cells seething over Conan chats. Yeah. Gamers rise up. Yeah. Arnold was a terrible Conan.
That's
not
incorrect.
true.
That
Yeah.
is fake news.
The Conan the Barbarian movie, the Milius film, is so fucking good. And you're right. It's not a straight adaptation of the Conan
books.
character. It's its own thing, and I love it.
Of course. Yeah.
It's so good.
It's his own. It's
such a good
a
movie.
separate iteration of the character, but one that's totally valid and totally awesome.
Yeah, and if you haven't seen Conan the Barbarian with the director's commentary, it's John Milius and Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Which I still have not seen. You've told me
It's
about
so
it.
funny. It is so fucking funny. He was, but those films are still 80s schlock classics. I don't think that
I don't think they're schlock.
Conan the Destroyer is a little schlocky.
Conan the Destroyer, perhaps.
Conan the Barbarian is fantastic, though.
Yeah.
Rob McKenna with a super chat.
After attending the Silver Star event, there was an extra plate laid out for breakfast at one of the Peace houses. Player did notice when I said 5 plates when there are only 4 residents.
Nice. Nice. This
Nice.
is a reference to a spell in Cults of Zahak, which is
right.
rather sinister and fucked up.
Indeed.
Yeah.
Indeed.
The Conan movie is not lore accurate, but it is philosophically aligned with the novels more than the comics were. I haven't read the comics, but I agree it is philosophically aligned.
Yeah.
The character is.
And possesses no irony.
Right. And here actually this is kind of a point related to what we're going to be talking about. That is an excellent point, Mr. Max. It is philosophically aligned, but it is not lore accurate. And being lore accurate and who cares
I don't give a shit about
any of that shit.
lore. If it is
Lore?
clear that the spirit of an adaptation or a performance
Yeah.
or a work of any kind, if it is in alignment with the spirit of what it's trying to do,
Right.
it is accurate and it is good.
Yeah.
For that reason, that's the only thing that really matters at the end of the day, because there are many movies or books or films, comic books, video games, whatever, that take great pains to be meticulously consistent,
Yeah.
or to meticulously call out that they are aware of and in alignment with lore.
Right. And who
And
gives
almost
a shit?
always that if that is your focus, if lore accuracy are your first principles, then you're in for a bad time.
Yeah.
What is wrong with you?
Yeah.
Why don't you have a soul?
Arnold's best Conan might ironically have been when he played definitely but not kind of Conan in the Red Sonja movie. Yeah. They could not legally call him Conan in that. But it is the same character. I concede the first one, but the sequel is not classic by any means. Correct. Conan the Destroyer sucks. It's still fun. I still would watch it, like if it was just on TV. That would never happen because I don't flip through channels. I don't have TV anymore. I just have the internet.
Who would?
Yeah, but I definitely would still watch it. We know you're kidding, but you already know he knows you're kidding, but that's okay. You know that he knows that you're kidding. Okay.
8D chess.
You guys are making me feel like I'm in The Princess Bride. He must be talking about... he's talking about the chat because they know that you know. Anyway, if you're just joining us, everyone, I see that we got 77 people watching now. We are giving away this giant white dragon mini. It is not miniature, in my opinion, but it's huge.
Yes.
So $5 gets you into the raffle at the end of the stream. If you're in the U.S., we will ship it to you. If you're abroad, unfortunately, we will not. But if we get 20 of those super chats, the counter is behind by 1 at the moment. We will be raffling this off at the end of the
like
stream.
we do every
like
week.
we do every week. I got a bunch of Conan books from a Value Village for around $3 to $5 each last year. Nice. Yeah, you can. I really like this edition. This that you can get on Amazon. It's not.
I wish
super
I had
expensive.
that edition.
Yeah, it's fucking
Although
awesome.
I'm happy with mine.
It's great. It's got all of the Conan stories in order of publication, not in chronology, because the first one was the Phoenix and the Sword or something about the Phoenix. I don't remember. He's King
I think
Conan
that
by
the
that
Phoenix
point.
and the Sword
Yeah.
wasn't that the first published,
That was the first published one,
Published one.
but it's way,
which is
way
an
later in his
adaptation
life,
of a Kull the Conqueror story.
which I have not read any of. Oh, got another one here.
What is based in life to troll your enemies, to see them canceled before you, and to hear the sneedings of their women?
Nice. Thank you,
Thank you,
Goodman,
Biden.
for the $5.
Yeah.
And thank you, President Biden. This is the only lore accuracy I care about.
Yeah.
I don't know when I'll get around to reading them through. They're short. Like you reading Conan stories is not hard.
Yeah, it's not a slog at all.
it's not a
something
slog.
I really like short stories. I think
I do
it's
too.
become not a lost art, but it's fallen by the wayside in favor of a massively overpopularized, overblown sense of importance for these very long tomes.
And
Probably in
series.
large part because of Game of Thrones, but
And Robert Jordan and
yeah.
Brandon Sanderson, who's my favorite Appendix N author.
I think in a short story, in a collection of short stories, I think there's an argument to be made that you can get at the heart, the soul of a character or characters and a world way more easily and way more quickly and way more effectively than in a long treatise novel, some Russian tome that is filled to bursting with lore facts.
And
Which are
names.
ultimately uninteresting.
And I used to have a very high tolerance for that. Like when I used to read the Wheel of Time books when I was in high school. I think I read up through the 10th one, which I think was the last one was published in the last couple of years of when I was in high school. And I knew everything. I knew all the lore. I knew all the VTM lore.
Yeah.
Like the back of my hand. And then I tried reading Game of Thrones when the first season came on because everyone was talking about it. And from I got 50 pages in and I was like, this is a lot of fantasy names. I was like, I can't do this anymore.
Yeah, I remember I read the first book, or most of the first book of Game of Thrones for the same reason, because the show was coming out. I had heard about it, as we all had for a number of years, and I
Best time
quit.
to read Conan is Cimmerian in September. The challenge is to read all of Ree's Conan in the month of September.
Huh.
Okay. Yeah. September is Conan month. I was about to say Conan is September month. Oh man, yeah, we got a lot of chats here. I have 2 of 3 collections of Conan plus Hour of the Dragon. Good. I have many Conan stories across many publications. I'm looking out for any weird tales I can get my hands on at a reasonable price and decent condition.
Decent condition, reasonably priced. That's what I need.
You haven't lived until you've watched the Criterion edition of Conan on Laserdisc. Yeah.
I have not lived yet. Sadly,
have
I
not
may
lived,
never be alive.
Yeah. Wheelan Occult is here. Good to see you, man. Conan should be required reading in the American school system. Yeah, boys would want to read.
Yeah.
I have 3 sets of Conan, 8 volumes of Conan art through the years, and all 16 Ace paperback Conan pulps. Wow. You are the number 1 fan, I believe. Oh man, we haven't even caught up to when the stream started on the
Oh,
chat.
jeez.
We're gonna skip down.
Well, you know.
a little bit. just got an email. My axe is on the way. Awesome.
Oh.
Also signed up for BloodMoor. Thank you.
Thank you, dude.
Oh, I can't wait for my
Very
axe
jealous.
books.
I've not gotten an email.
Yeah. I am in the popular meme crowd.
I have a 1967 paperback edition sitting on my desk in front of me, a forward or primer, and 7 complete stories, 221 pages, including the glossary.
Nice. Yeah, this version also has that big. It's not written by Howard, but it's about the world of Conan. It's very very cool.
I just have the soft cover collections of Conan, and then a separate book for all the Cull stories, and then the Solomon Kane stories.
How far is Peaster, Texas from you? It's the
have
birthplace
no
of
idea.
Howard. I don't know.
Don't know. My guess is far away because everything is far away.
Right. Unlike Tolkien, Robert E. Howard is an American, a Texan even.
That is
Exactly.
true. That is true.
Learning to read at an adult level should be required in the American school system.
Nothing should be required in the American school
Well, yeah, we
system.
shouldn't
There
have a
shouldn't have an
school
American
system,
school system.
I recommend reading the 3-volume set of Robert E. Howard's letters. That would probably be very interesting. Yeah, we're still not even when the stream started. Oh, man. Here we go. Anyone see that disconnected from WebSocket message in the top left for a second? I think that was you. That seems like a client-side thing. I noticed that they didn't apologize for being late, which is good.
That's
Apologies
true.
make you weak. Yeah. We would never
As we
apologize.
all know.
Yeah, it's a company policy. Damn, I wish I could go to that con. Yeah, North Texas is going to be a
Texas,
lot of
yeah.
fun. We received all of our copies of the Shucked Oyster that we ordered.
That's true. We got
that
them
we
in
can
today.
sell. Got them in today. We should probably open the other boxes just to make sure that none of them are like need replacement.
Fucked up.
Yeah. But they look good. The ones that we opened. Also, I've been reading the Cult supplement of Maiming and Disfigurement. Pretty cool and gruesome stuff, my dudes. Yeah, Cults is very dark. If you like our Vampire the Masquerade videos, and you're like a Vampire the Masquerade fan, this is the kind of thing that you can do in fantasy with like
Yes.
dark stuff.
And hopefully anybody who's looked at the PDF understands exactly what we meant when
Right.
these people cannot be tolerated and have to be killed.
have to be killed.
Yes.
Yeah.
It is not negotiable.
Someday I'll be big in Texas Gaming Con too.
Hell yeah, man. Well, we'll be
Yeah.
here when you do.
All the art looks great, but I think I gotta like the Flesh Golem best.
Nice. Yeah, that one's awesome.
It is very fucking weird. Drowning in ads. Sorry about that.
Ooh.
It amazes me how wrong D&D gets barbarians. Conan is the exact opposite of smash, smash, me drink, smash, smash. Yeah, exactly.
Well, D&D gets many things wrong.
Like, I think you would even argue that it gets magic horribly wrong from a
of course.
Vancian perspective, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
It's not magical in the slightest.
It's also not really Vancian, other than
Well, it's definitely
you
not
memorize
Vancian.
spells.
I know that's what you're calling it.
Yeah.
I know that's what Gygax read, and
Right.
that's how
That's where the
that's where
inspiration came
he
from.
got inspiration, and I get it. There are terms
Yeah.
which are correct. Yeah, it's not even Vancian. Completely misses the spirit of what a wizard would be doing in the world of the Dying Earth.
Mm-hmm.
It's terrible.
The two most influential fictional characters on Young Me were Conan and Paul Muad'Dib. Those are good.
Yep.
Very good hero characters. So Conan was based on Howard's lived life experience. The strumpets, killers, thieves, and lawmen that he worked and lived alongside, all working the oil fields. And Conan is Howard himself.
I would not
go that far.
because
Conan
there is a singular accurate red flag and criticism that
Yes.
looms over all of Conan, which we'll get to.
we will get to. What the hell am I watching? I don't know. Fun fact, the first use of the term incel was a female blogger, so femcells are the OG incels. The rest should be mancels. Yeah.
Always has been.
Yeah. Nothing wrong with not getting laid.
I don't know about that.
Yeah. Conan is very practical with his intelligence. That's true.
Right.
And
yeah.
this is also a point in Conan's favor. He never met a wizard he didn't kill.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's true.
Would Conan drink LaCroix?
No,
No.
he definitely would not.
But we're not going to sit here and, drink fucking wine from like a giant jug.
Right.
Abu Mustard, take it easy. He's heading out.
Later on, man.
Excited for Bloodmoor. Everyone is. Remember,
Thank
if
you.
you're just joining us, click the link that is in the pinned comment in the chat and go sign up for Bloodmoor campaign setting. That is coming June 3rd. There would be much less incels if the laws were more lenient, like in the Hyperborean age. Yeah, I guess so.
I don't think the laws were more lenient. It's just that Conan broke them.
Yeah, and you could probably just get away with crime.
That's true.
Like,
right. Well,
what are they
the
gonna do?
panopticon doesn't exist.
No one saw something happened.
Right.
Like,
Or shiny discs fell out of a coin purse.
yeah. Excuse me. A little more ASMR for you guys. So I don't think there's any laws hindering me. No vampires or magic, and he hated magic. Yeah. To be fair, all of those killings were in self-defense since they were all trying to kill him first. Yeah, but I kind of feel like he would have killed most of the wizards anyway. I just got in a nice Thulsa Doom mini from Dragonbait Miniatures. Nice. What do you think of Kelsey's latest Kickstarter making over $2.3 million?
fucking awesome.
I think it's great. And
Yeah.
that's awesome. I would like to make $2.3 million.
Right.
But I am extremely happy for Kelsey. She's been wonderful to us. She's a great designer. She's a great person, good faith actor, which is extremely refreshing. And I'm very happy for her success and that we are also making Shadow Dark products. So it's all good all around. And I am very excited to get those books. The art looks awesome. I like.
Yep.
Here's the thing, because when I did the Kickstarter, I didn't get the zines, the Cursed Scrolls, and I got those recently. The PDFs. They're really good, and they're very different too than like the third one. I think it is this kind of like Viking kind of thing, and like the art in it is really cool and really dark.
They made a fighting game where the cast were all Schwarzenegger characters. How would Conan stack up against John Matrix?
They made a fighting game where all the cast were all Schwarzenegger characters. How would Conan stack up against John Matrix?
Why haven't they done this game?
That's an interesting question. If it was a fist, like hand-to-hand combat, Conan is going to kill him.
Yeah. However, John Matrix has a gun.
Yeah, he has a lot of guns.
That's a lot of guns, yes.
He's very good at obtaining guns from the gun store in the mall that also happened to have a rocket launcher.
Yeah. As most malls should.
Yeah. Oh, wait, I think I went way too far up. Did I? No, I
I
didn't.
can't tell.
No, I didn't. Oh, shit. Did we get another one? And thank you guys
did.
for the super chats. We appreciate it.
Fantasy should be fun and inspirational. We
Yes.
see this with older works like Conan. Contemplate this on the Sneed of War.
Formerly Chuck's. Thank you for the $5. And
Thank you, dude.
you are 100% correct.
Yeah.
And I am hoping that there's going to be more kind of like male appealing fantasy again.
I mean, there's going to have to be. I'm not going to say it's by people who actually have the best interests of men. I would not say that. But there's going to have to be, at the very least, a cynical attempt to placate.
Like a cash grab based on the vibe shift.
Right.
Right. Kevin Sorbo played.
But Hollywood is still absolutely cooked.
They might be really, really cooked because fucking China said that they're going to ban importing movies from the United States. Mm-hmm. That's crazy.
Oh no,
that's
they
the
have to
only way
start
that
making movies for us again.
Yeah,
which I don't think they have it in them to do. But
their entire business model is based on India and China's box office.
right.
Without that, like,
Get wrecked.
oh,
Yep.
they're going to be in big trouble. No one's
Which
going to the movies in the United States.
And why
And
would
why
they?
would you?
It
Yeah.
couldn't have happened to a more deserved group of people.
Yeah. I wish Kelsey success. I'll be in a Shadow Dark game soon, then I will evaluate it. Nice.
Excellent.
It may sound fantastic to link the term realism with Conan, but as a matter of fact, his supernatural adventures aside, he is the most realistic character I've ever evolved.
Interesting.
Ever loved, maybe? I don't know. The Destroyer is schlocky. It's fair to say the original wasn't. Yeah. Howard wrote Cole first and failed, so he went back and fixed it. Cole takes place before Conan does, but in the same world.
Right. I've said this before. I love Conan, but I do prefer the character and the world of Cull. But I understand why Conan is more popular and why is more of a financial success.
Yeah. Love the scene with Subutai and Conan discussing each other's gods. Yeah. Yes, the movie Cole. This was either the late 90s or early 2000s. Kevin Sorbo did play Cole. He-Man was originally going to be a Conan cartoon, but they couldn't get the license. Well,
I can see that.
in the early and mid 90s, there was a Conan cartoon show, and it was retarded. He was running around with a star metal sword. It was a sword made of star metal that gave him powers to zap evil lizard men.
I like killing lizard men.
I know you do, but it was not a great cartoon. I watched
I
it,
believe that.
but I would watch any cartoon when I was a kid. Being in line with the spirit of an IP is just a new adventure or chapter. It's what Hollywood should strive for, but they're more message than substance.
It is. It's way worse than that, but we don't have time to go into it.
Broken Blade, good to see you, man. I love Conan the Barbarian, but a movie based directly off of one of Howard's stories would be amazing.
You mean you didn't like the Solomon Kane movie that came out was it 2010, 2013?
I think it was before that. Right?
Maybe. It was dog
I never
shit.
saw that. Yeah,
of course,
it looked like dog shit.
Yes.
Yeah. There was also the Jason Momoa Conan, which I never saw.
Oh, I didn't see that either.
Yeah.
I didn't see that, and I didn't see. I know it's not Howard, but
the RPG Power Couple of the Year.
the John Carter of Mars movie.
That looked terrible.
Yeah, I did not see that, and I don't regret it.
Yeah. I would kill for the books that have been adapted to maintain the spirit rather than the lore. Witcher, Rings of Power, etc. So painful. Exactly. If I'm abroad, I can't win. That's sexist. In what? When did we say that abroad couldn't win?
Well, it depends on what you're trying to win.
Yeah. Still planning to distance yourselves from drive-through for BloodMoor fulfillment? Yes. But given the state of international trade, we're still evaluating options.
Yes.
But yeah, we won't be doing drive-through again. It'll go up on drive-through eventually, but
Oh yeah.
but for fulfillment of the campaign, we want to have
Do an
something
offset print run.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, like much higher quality. Audible has a really good collection of the Conan stories from Weird Tales. I listen to it at work when I am patrolling. Nice. I think that's the same Conan omnibus I have. Yeah. Well, you're a man of taste. The Phoenix on the Sword is the first Conan story. Yes.
Yeah, By the Sax I Rule.
Okay.
Which is By the Sax I Rule is a superior name for a
That
story.
is. Yeah. Shame that the Conan supplement for Acts 2 didn't work out. Yeah, that is a shame. That was going to be Chuck Dixon's Conan. Was going to be
I
awesome.
forgot about that.
Yeah. I've heard Solomon Kane is very cool, but I have not read any of it.
I haven't read all of it, but
I haven't read much of the Appendix N stuff. You've read a lot more of it than I have. But yes, Conan stories are a pleasure. Yeah, it's like bubblegum for the mind. Are we going to be able to include the shucked oyster in our BloodMoor pledge? Yes. Yes, you will.
as an add-on,
As an add-on, most likely. And we'll probably have like a big, here's everything we've made tier, you know.
Yeah, that's likely.
Yeah. So yes. I found that a video seems to have them all well voice acted in one long video too. Okay. Excuse me. Conan enters the public domain this year. Interesting.
Does he?
Maybe the first Conan story does.
Huh. Interesting.
I just finished a collection of Joe Abercrombie's short stories called The Sharp Ends. Nice. And I intended to last night begin reading the First Law trilogy by Joe Abercrombie, but I did not actually make it to doing that. So I will be starting that tomorrow. Short stories seem to be more common in sci-fi than fantasy. That is true. There's a lot of crossover
I
there,
wouldn't.
though.
I don't know. I legitimately don't know. I'm not. It doesn't seem like it's a thing which is lauded
Right.
in the modern day for whatever reason.
I'm so tired of at the fucking long sagas that never get finished or end up sucking halfway through. Me too. And I think this is the same thing with like television shows. They should come to an end someday.
Oh yeah.
Oh, what we got here?
I'm late to the show. Greetings, gentlemen.
What's going on, dude?
Greetings, man. Thank you for the $5 Australian. Tonight we're giving away this giant
White
dragon mini. It's
a real white dragon.
a real white dragon. Yeah. And like we said, you can paint it, but if you do and it's not white, then you can't use it in your game. It's against the rules.
Well, yeah, and you can't use it in your games anyway.
Right, you have to send it back to us.
Right.
But but we will, we're doing the raffle thing that we've been doing for a while. This thing's huge. We're celebrating. Look at this thumbs up. We're celebrating because we hit 15,000 subscribers today. And for those of you who've been wondering if this YouTube BLG content drought is going to continue, no. We're going to be back to making videos.
now that we can.
Yeah.
We have a bunch of ideas.
Yeah. A bunch of great ideas.
Yeah. We only have great ideas.
Yeah. George R. R. Martin brought back direwolves. Yeah, I think it's not true. I think
There's no way it can be true.
They said that it's not a. I was like, come on, do the Jurassic Park thing. Like, I want to like bring back something weird.
Right.
And all they did was they used CRISPR to change like 14 genes on a gray wolf. Yeah. Which I understand that can be potent, but it's still like, come on.
Yeah.
Howdy, boys. Let's start a flame war. Which is better, Howard or Tolkien?
That is a false dichotomy.
Yeah.
They're both excellent in their
In very different
own
ways.
And this
Yeah.
is all this false dichotomy. This is going to be part of what we're going to be
Right.
looking at, although Tolkien himself is not mentioned. There's a false dichotomy, and I think there's a what would you say, a mental crutch,
Right.
which is the high art, low art. You've made this point more eloquently and completely. That is just not true, or at least not as true as a lot of people seem to think that it is.
Right. Why not? I drink wine on stream all the time. Yeah, well, I've drank more wine in my life than multiple people should have. So I just don't need to do that anymore. I do like wine though. Anyway, I think so. It's about 9:15.
I think
this
we should
is a
get
video. Yeah, so we're gonna
this is a video, and we're not
switch
going to
over.
watch all of it because some of it is sort of a prelude, like what we're doing here.
Right.
But this is and you guys will be able to follow along. Now, I don't want to shit on this guy personally too much in a rare turn of events.
Yeah, this is not a takedown of whoever this guy is.
Right. Because
you've watched his stuff, right? And
I watched his stuff. I've met him briefly, although I'm sure he doesn't remember me. He does a lot of historical analysis, political analysis, and he's a very well-read and smart guy, and does have some good takes. This is just not one of them, and I disagree with it almost entirely.
Yeah.
And
so we'll start at 2 minutes in. We may have to scrub forward. Let us know in the chat, please, if this is too loud or if we need to adjust the volume.
Yes.
Because we don't generally do these things, but let's go.
Personas that develop in the stories I've read. The Honorable Conan, the Phoenix Sword, Scarlet Citadel, the Tower of the Elephant, Black Colossus, and the People of the Black Circle. And by honorable, I mean he's upright. He stands up for the little guy. He fights people who are cutting corners and being bad. Again, the first one, the Phoenix on the Sword, is a good example of this.
So I believe I think he is reading from his
document.
His like this is like a video essay.
Yeah.
Video.
Oh wait, hold on.
Thanks for the DM. I did get in the mail in the end. My favorite funny gay couple of the internet. Very happy for your marriage and success.
Thank you. Thanks for the
Thank
DM
you.
on Kickstarter. I didn't get an email in the end. Did you still not get the PDF? Can't hear this nerd. Okay, I turned it up.
Okay. But what he's doing right now is he's establishing sort of his bona fides here. He read
not all of the stories, but a lot of them.
Most of them, all the ones you would want him to read.
Right.
And he's laying out there's sort of three sort of versions of Conan as a character that we see that he's sort of laying out right here, and in what stories, which stories contain which Conan.
Yeah.
Empathic, heartless, or indifferent Conan. The slithering shadow, the pool of the dark one, where he like literally waits and lies in wait and just straight up murders the captain.
I think the length of stories is caused by modern's obsessions with overworld building, rank escapism, and parasocial relationships with characters.
Yeah, that's
partially
part
true.
Of it.
I think the problem is fucking nerds.
Yes. Oh man, we got another one.
Whoa.
To min-max or not to min-max? Truly, that is the question.
I don't know. Just roll good stats.
Yeah, exactly. It's not that hard to roll 18s down the line.
Of a ship. Rogues in the house, doesn't care who he's working for or doing what, and then Queen of the Black Coast, where he just is a pirate pillaging and killing people for their money. Lovable rascal, Shadows in the Moonlight, and the Devil in Iron. And this will come into importance a little bit later as I continue.
So what are the three Conan
asking for more volume?
Okay. While that's happening, what
count?
Yeah, this is too small for me to see. So.
Sorcery rules. Okay. Howard, in the very first Conan story ever published, The Phoenix on the Sword, establishes that human courage and weapons cannot defeat sorcery. The sage Epimetheus speaks to Conan in a dream, and I quote, "Loose your barbarian fury against your foes of flesh and blood," answered the ancient. "It is not against men I must shield you. There are dark worlds barely guessed by men, wherein formless monsters stalk, fiends which may be drawn from the outer voids to take material shape and rend and devour at the bidding of evil magicians. There is a serpent in your house, O king, an adder in your kingdom, come up from Stygia with the dark wisdom of the shadows in his murky soul. And his hair prickled at the nape of his neck, for on the broad blade was carven a symbol, the outline of a phoenix. And he remembered that on the tomb in the crypt he had seen what he had thought to be a similar figure carven of stone." We also learned that this dark evil is set.
I obviously didn't want to interrupt a great quote from a great story.
Yeah.
I think we can probably skip ahead because if I recall, so he's laying out what the sorcery rules are in this world, and if I remember correctly, there's a number.
Too loud. I can hear him.
Well, thank you.
Nice. He's going to go through a number of different quotes in which sorcery comes into play. However, I don't know.
So we'll skip ahead 2 minutes.
Let's see. We'll see if we've gone too far.
No mere finger pinch would suffice for the lulling of the gigantic charnel monstrosity. His guttering yellow candle was dimmed by the white dawn as he ended the Latin formula, a fearsome verbal invocation from which the compound would derive much of its efficacy. The formula, which called for the cooperation of Alastor and other evil spirits, he used with unwillingness.
So,
are we still going through sorcery rules?
Yes. So he's made his point already, in which it is the case that the rule of magic, largely in Conan, is that sorcery can only defeat sorcery. So he has made a point here. What he's doing now, he's either quoting Lovecraft or Clark Ashton Smith. I'm not sure which. his first argument is the worst, most nerd-brained argument, which is that the sorcery rules, the way Conan works in relation to magic and the way magic works as such, is inconsistent across different stories. And while that is true, who fucking cares?
Yeah.
Who gives a shit about the consistency and the lack of hypocrisy as it pertains to sorcery rules?
Howard knew what spell user equals insanely bad.
That is
Yeah,
true.
exactly.
That is
$5. Thank you.
that is always almost always true, unless there's some sort of good spirit like Epimetheus. But he's contrasting with Lovecraft and Smith, who he argues are more consistent in how their magic system typically works in their worlds. The mythos, and I forget what Clark Ashton Smith's omnibus
Who cares?
series is.
But it's also he made the point that I think
he's gonna
Clark
get into
Ashton
more
Smith and
arguments.
and Lovecraft he considers like a closer to more of a high art kind
Correct.
of
It's
thing.
a more
Lovecraft had a German cousin, Lovecraft.
Thank you, Matthew.
Got
Becker.
him.
Yeah, got him.
yeah, he would consider
Conan
those
to be
two,
kind of just very low art.
yeah, and I don't think he would. He makes the argument that Lovecraft or Smith are high art,
It's
but they're
not
more
Mozart, yeah.
they're more proficient,
More sophisticated, and
more
proficient.
sophisticated, and ultimately better.
Yeah.
In this case, for this
And-
reason.
And he did say in the beginning that the part that we skipped, basically that he also finds Conan very irritating because he basically ventures into the realm of superheroics, where the action
And he's going to come back
defies
to this point
physics.
later.
And as soon as I heard that, I was like, "Shut the fuck up! Who cares? That's not what the stories are about."
Conan 220 is best, fight me. Written by Howard historians, no passage and despite
2D20 is
rumors,
very good.
little was changed, contractually only in the final 2 books.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got those PDFs the night before they had to destroy all their books.
Yeah.
How dangerous
Unforgivable.
sorcery is and how capable Conan is of fighting it depends on story needs. One story he's doomed, the other he rips in tears.
Exactly.
So yeah, and I would say, I would say even a stronger argument in favor of what seems like inconsistency, or what I'll just say is inconsistent.
Yeah.
Conan exists in a world of short stories, or a world that we interface with through short stories.
Yeah.
It's not Game of Thrones. It's not Wheel of Time.
Thank God.
And it's not Tolkien.
Yeah.
Tolkien is fundamentally different. The world of Middle Earth is fundamentally different than the world of the Hyperborean Age. This world it's more, each story that we read about Conan, it's like we're entering into, we're dreaming a new dream about this, these stories in an age undreamed of. You know, this, it's like a feature, not a bug, in which
If
things
the stork
are.
starts yapping about hard magic systems, I'm gonna lose my shit.
He doesn't get that bad.
no.
He doesn't make the cringe midwit Brandon Sanderson
Right.
magic shouldn't be magical, which is retarded. But these worlds are more dreamy. The lore and the specifics about how something behaves in one story.
Nerd and its consequences, the idea that you need a 100-page manual breaking down the metaphysics and rules for magic is cringe and maximally wrong.
Correct.
This is true.
Yeah.
And to be fair, I don't think he would make the argument that you need a manual for this either.
Mr.
I
Max
hope
also
not.
saying, does Lovecraft's writing say more about the human condition than Howard's? I don't think so. And I agree.
I would also agree.
Yeah.
And
This guy might agree. I don't know.
I don't know, but you're missing the point entirely.
Yeah.
Even if something actually refutes itself, later. This is a world that's made out of like it's a painted world in which like a paint thinner has been applied. So we're swimming in these dreamy kind of colors and these hues and these impressions. Conan himself, and he'll make this argument as a negative later, that the Conan is also not as defined of a character as someone like an Aragorn or someone like a Robert Baratheon. There's less lore and less facts and less explicit philosophy and sort of human condition mulling over. Right? There's
no.
Conan is an impression.
Yeah, it's a visceral, experiential thing.
Correct.
Conan tales are fireside stories. I'd love to see a series where Conan was a different actor in each because each story has a different teller. Mad Max would also benefit from this kind of treatment.
That would be cool.
That would be interesting.
Yeah,
and
thank
that
you
would
for the
be
$10.
spiritually consistent.
Yeah, and it's. But like I'm saying, it's like Conan. When you read it, you feel something. It's very like sensual in a way,
right?
Not in the sexuality sense, but there's like an
physicality,
intense physicality and passion to it. And there was a quote. I think I've mentioned this before, but someone was telling a story about when they met Alfred Hitchcock for the first time when they were going to work on a movie. And he's like, do you know what we're going to do on this movie? And they're like, yeah, we're going to do this. He goes, no. We're going to take the grapes of life, hold them above us.
Said it's magic. You don't have to explain it. Another great quote is grape, grape, grape. I love grape.
Thank you.
Fuck?
Thank you for $5 dollars. Matthew Pickard. But he takes the grapes and we're going to squeeze the juices out of them and drink the juices of life. And it's like, that's Conan,
Yes,
it's like,
exactly.
It's this like just pure living,
Right.
Like,
yeah. And is it less articulate in, it's not even it's an articulation. Is it less complex than something like Middle Earth?
Yeah.
Yes, but that works for Conan. That would be bad if you were trying to do Middle Earth in the style of Robert E. Howard. They're two different kinds of worlds.
Yes.
There are two different kinds of
There's
two different things and spirits which are being conveyed here.
Yeah, Tolkien is very much like mythology as we know, like real mythology, as I would say. Conan there's a primal understand. There's something more primordial about and it's primordial on. There's a reason that men like these stories so much.
Sure.
It speaks to something that is missing in the lives of men in the most part, and it is this very primordial, like I won't not law of the jungle, but getting rid of the niceties of things, the veneer of
it's
civility.
It's unfettered masculinity in a largely positive sense, because even Conan the psychopath, quote unquote, isn't just an ape, isn't a gorilla. That's like rutting and killing and feeding and gorging. Conan, even in his most violent, and I'm certainly not making the case that violence is not good, but he leans towards the positive, a vision of the feeling, the spirit, the emotion isn't even the right word, but that thing that animates men, and like you say, in a primordial level, this is something which is aspirational. This is something that we do identify with, that is a part of us, and is a positive representation of that.
Yeah, I can't remember if it's Queen of the Black Coast, but there's one. Oh, we got 2 super chats coming in.
Silence is violence, and silence is golden.
Thank you.
Nice.
Come on, Biden.
Think it can do both, just keep the nerd shit in the background and explain every little, or have the nerd shit apply in beginner school magic and have the truth behind the curtain be a trick judge.
Intrigue and chaos. Yeah, you can, but it's the need to overturn every stone and fucking understand, what gauge of copper wire is running through the bulkhead in the Enterprise.
Fuck that.
Fuck that.
This is
Fuck
it's
you.
the midwit misapprehension. Complexity equals quality.
Right.
And it doesn't.
Or
it doesn't.
Or number of data points that you can just fucking add on to something.
Please
Yeah.
stop reading.
Violence isn't the answer, it's the question. The answer is yes.
But Conan, it's like, I don't know how much of the video. We'll have to watch a little bit more. I don't want to get. I don't want to get ahead of myself.
He's going
here.
to make more points. I wanted to skip a little bit more ahead because he front loads a bunch of quotes
All right.
here.
So we're gonna. It's about 10 minutes into the video now.
During the battle, we read this quote: "Springing to his feet, he bent his bow powerfully and drove his last shaft point blank at a great hairy shape that soared up at his throat. The arrow was a flying beam of moonlight that flashed onward with but a blur in its course. But the werebeast plunged convulsively in midair and crashed headlong, shot through and through." End quote. After the battle, we read this quote: "Conan lifted his head, mechanically searching for the beast things that had been its slaves and executioners. None met his gaze. The bodies he saw littering the moon-splashed grass were of men, not beasts, hawk-faced, dark-skinned men, naked, transfixed by arrows or mangled by sword strokes, and they were crumbling to dust before his eyes." End quote. Well, too bad Conan didn't know that both Epimetheus and Murilo were wrong, and he could have killed what he thought was a were-thing and rogues in the house. Now, I suppose somebody might
This
say,
is
well,
still the point about the
Murilo was
inconsistency of how magic
but
works.
Murilo's not wrong in light of what we have established by Epimetheus. In fact, Murilo is echoing through his own experience what Epimetheus knows through, sage knowledge. So this whole
I like how what Mage handles it, where magic is based on a strong belief of what you think would work. It could be esoteric, it could be scientific.
I just haven't read enough of World of Darkness Mage.
Yeah, but that is the point. Belief is you believe hard enough, it becomes real.
Right.
magic and versus force is dubious. The most flagrant violation of all the rules of magic set by Epimetheus is in the people of the Black Circle. In a totally ridiculous tale, Conan and a few mercenaries led by Karim Shah invade the castle of Yimsa, a sorcerer, to rescue Princess Dev Yasmina. All Conan has is a magical girdle from the wizard's acolyte Kemsa. And this is worth reading in detail.
I think we can skip ahead a little bit. And again, I'm not trying to. The quotes are not necessary. This is a fair characterization of his argument, of his particular argument here.
Yeah, exactly. So he's talking about the consistencies and whatnot. So this is a 50-minute video. We're not going to be able to get through the entire thing. And this is the problem of like a reaction format is that you could have like we've done 15-minute videos that have lasted an entire live stream.
Oh yeah.
You know? And so this is a long video. I do encourage people,
which we have linked.
It's linked. Go watch it because we're not going to be able to respond to everything. You're going to be getting little bits and pieces. We don't want to straw man this guy, but we do have strong feelings about Conan.
Yes.
1,500 to 2,000 pounds. So according to Grok, quoting Grok, the most weight in ever lifted overhead in a verified.
I do like that he's citing Grok.
Yeah.
Most sources. So I think this argument here, again, it's very unfortunate that this guy chose to front load the two most retarded nerd-brained arguments, the inconsistency of the lore in sorcery, and I think he opens up to a more broader point, but the acts of superhuman strength are truly that, are sort of
outside
superhero
of
level. So Grok is going to say exactly how much a hypothetical like 40-foot long python would be. And he's got to compare it to deadlift records.
Just be like Hassan Piker and don't put in effort.
We will never be like Hassan Piker.
Never be like
in
Hassan
any
Piker.
way.
Also, we will never do a 10-hour live stream or however long he streams for.
Competition is 267 kilograms or 588.6 pounds, achieved by Georgian weightlifter Lasha Talakadze. This record was set in the clean and jerk, a two-part Olympic lift where the barbell is pulled from the ground to his shoulders, clean, and then thrust overhead jerk at the 2021 World Weightlifting Championships in Tashkent, Uzbekistan
Wow.
on December the 7th, 2021. Talakadze, competing in the plus 109 kilogram weight
Again,
class,
who
completed a 267 kilogram
cares?
clean and jerk.
This has
Who
nothing to do with
cares?
the essence.
Who cares
The
whether
essence.
he could lift a snake that big?
Correction, Hassan's chair streams for 10 hours.
Nice. Yeah,
As
who gives a fuck, dude? Like, this isn't... Conan isn't lifting a mountain. If he lifts a 40-foot long, or however the fuck long the snake is,
There's not supposed to. These are not supposed to be realistic stories.
they're not realistic, but it's also...
And if this is not, and I want to say, this is not an appeal to, well, it's fantasy, bro. Anything could happen. That's not what I'm saying.
It accurately conveys the spirit of what Conan is.
Yes, exactly.
Conan lore accurately should and must be able to lift
A giant python.
snake.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter how much it would weigh in
Right.
the real world, any more than it matters whether or not a snake that big ever existed in real life.
Right.
Who cares? To ask that question or to level that critique is
Yeah,
like,
it's
if
like
it was
you've-
from anybody else, I would think it's a bad faith argument.
Right. But it's like this is the type of thing where if you haven't got your foot in the door on the story,
Yeah,
if
you're not
this
going
is-
to get anything else.
You're not going to get anything else because it's like you have completely missed
Correct.
what this actually is.
Right.
part of a 492 kilogram total, 225 kilogram snatch plus 267 kilogram jerk. Cementing his
Verisimilitude and consistency. What's that?
Yeah. That's the thing. You can have verisimilitude in a world very different than ours. It can still
That's true.
feel true and feel real.
And it can be consistent on a different axis.
Right.
I'm autistic, and I think this guy's being pedantic.
It's a very pedantic argument and the weakest argument. And he's going to make
Right.
some more interesting arguments
And we do
in a
love
little
our,
bit.
we do love our autistic bros out there. I saw at least one other person mentioning their
That is-
autism.
as the-
So we love you guys.
Heaviest lifter in the Olympic style weightlifting history to date. No, this is 2021. So as of the 1930s, I don't think anybody was overhead pressing over 500 pounds.
Correct.
So it would have been a much lower number.
But a clean and jerk is also not an overhead
And
press.
I didn't ask Grok if Lasha was using PEDs. Most of these competitors do, which might have only just been getting involved in weightlifting in the 30s. Yeah, Conan is not going to lift 3 or 4 times what this Talakadze can do. Furthermore, the male human body with its bone density, musculature, and tendon strength cannot endure such weight.
Dude, this is psychotic.
Right. This is complete nerd-brained retardation.
Right. This is the oh man, we're getting lots of super chats. Thank you guys. We love getting lots of super chats. But and we hit the goal.
This is the part
Hey.
where I give the pair disadvantage for the rest of the session. Nerd, that snake is 2,000 pounds. Conan is only peak human physically impossible. Normal 40 feet, that is as long as a school bus. Dude must be strong.
Yeah, it's this is like I said. It's not mythology here, but this is also it is a primordial experience. The story is to evoke that primordial essence of man within
Correct.
you. The idea that you fight the 40-foot long python and and this man is so tremendous in his animating spirit and
Right.
life and
He
and
rages out
physicality.
and he summons up that strength and the muscles ripple and he does it.
And he
You know?
does it.
Yes.
And that's the point. That's what speaks to us.
Yeah. And
the moment arms that he's we don't need to calculate the moment arms and the pressure on his
Crazy
fucking
what they
knees.
put in that wine. Anyway, moving on.
Crazy what they put in that wine.
the performance enhancing Zamorian wine.
Your mom fought my 40-foot
Mom fought my
python. Thank
40-foot
you.
This really highlights what a cartoon character Conan is. This is the worst kind of escapist fantasy.
No.
Yeah,
This is completely unfair. It's a straw man argument against Conan here. Like this is just not fair to the character, because you could, in the same way that a different story, even if it is real.
Archaeology indicates that megafauna was composed differently than current animals, like how an apatosaur neck is mostly air pockets and bone lattice.
Fact checked.
Fact check.
Sourced. Sorry, buddy.
It doesn't matter whether or not it's realistic. You wouldn't make this claim against Gandalf being a cartoon character because he can use magic.
And he's fucking old. He's an old guy.
He's an
and
old
he fought
man.
a fucking Balrog
How
with a
could he
sword.
actually live?
How did he do it?
Live 1,000 years?
But if he fell down the chasm in Khazad-dûm and he hit water, it would be like hitting pavement,
Yeah.
and he would break every bone in his body.
Now he's
Like,
going to
fuck you.
He's going to make the argument later about this, what he calls this like rank escapism is sort of lowbrow because of a lack of some sort of divine lineage or some explanation. Conan is a Maiar, or Gandalf is a Maiar, but the idea that this is Conan is unrealistic. Conan is not the son of a god that we know. Conan doesn't receive any sort of divine grace from Crom or from anybody. But it doesn't matter. And
that is kind of the point.
that is in fact the point. And that being the case does not therefore make it rank escapism in a sort of cartoon slop
right.
kind of consumer way. Obviously, there is slop.
Right. Conan is not slop.
Conan is not slop. And Conan isn't conveying like empty calories, right? In the way that cartoon slop would be. This is again missing the spirit of what is trying to be conveyed in these stories. And regardless of whether it is as sophisticated or as well put together or as detailed as something like Tolkien or actual mythology or literature.
Thank you for the
$5. It's completely irrelevant to what Conan is trying to be. What the stories of Conan are. It's meant to be a more stripped down is not the right word, but it's as you said, it's existing at a more fundamental but like lower resolution, primordial kind of space. That's the spirit of what's being transmitted in Conan.
Right.
It would also be a mistake to make Conan overly complex in, like, it would be an absolute sacrilege to have someone like Brandon Sanderson or George R. R. Martin write a Conan story.
Right.
Even if all the words were right and the vocabulary was accurate, it would be absent of the inhabiting spirit of Conan.
Yeah.
As I said before, for the sake of a story, I would accept the power of a god, demon, or spirit indwelling or imbuing Conan with strength. But Howard does not give us this option. Conan is all natural, as they say.
Yes.
Correct.
This is the point, is that he represents something that has been lost.
Yes.
The primordial barbarian, the man who comes from the hard wilderness and doesn't have the veneer of civility, the fakeness of civility.
Right.
And he does talk about Conan at some point being this kind of like anti-civilization figure. And that is true. To an extent. But this is also not a morality play in the sense of like everyone go live your life as Conan is, and when the judge tells you that you have to testify against your friend, you cut him in half.
Right.
Like, we know we're not
as nice as a world
actually
that
going to do that in the real world. It's not a morality play in that sense.
And no one intuits it that way.
But yeah, exactly. No one intuits it that way. But what Conan gets at in regards to being anti-civilized and anti-civilization is that there is all of this fake shit in civilization that allows people to get away with doing very, very bad things behind the veneer of it's law. We have to be polite. We have to, you know, it's like
There
we don't
is such a
deal
thing
with
as
things that way.
civilizational
And
disease.
you have bad faith people
Yes.
who do evil through that process, and you are defenseless against it. And Conan is a refreshing reminder that violence can be the answer.
Right.
and it deeply appeals to people because there is that fakeness and that fakeness and that evil that is present in everyone's life. It cannot succeed. It cannot be victorious if you stand up to it. You know.
Yes.
And Conan stands up to it in a very brutal,
and unapologetic
way, and that feels awesome when you read it.
It is
because that's what it's getting at in that respect.
Right. And again, because Conan is a sort of masculine spirit rather than a fully put together narrative character in that way. He is an appropriate and accurate vehicle for what you, an actual person, do feel, or at least you should feel if you are not completely spiritually compromised or spiritually demoralized when faced with, as we are all the fucking time, at the evils and the disease and the lies of an unhealthy civilization.
Yes.
I understand, even if I don't have the rhetorical arguments, I understand that you are basically lying to me, you mean me harm, and you feel nothing but malice towards me.
And you are counting on the fact that I'm going to play by the rules that you are deliberately
weaponizing
not
in bad faith.
Weaponizing in bad faith, and we know that you will not play by the rules, and you will not be punished if you don't play by the rules, whereas I will be. This is the fakeness, and this is where Conan simply cuts through it.
Yes.
Literally.
Exactly. Whether it's a person or whatever the case may be.
Yeah.
This is not. It is in no way, shape, or form a fair assessment to say that Conan is childish, escapist, schlock fantasy in that way. Although Conan could, does, and should appeal to boys.
Yes.
Not everything that appeals to boys or children is in and of itself, and I don't know if he would make this argument, but aren't schlock. This is also like a false dichotomy. We've talked about this before.
Yeah, the distinction between high art and low art. Yeah.
And nobody can be sincere. The only thing that you can be is quote unquote realistic and therefore nihilistic.
Yeah.
Or complete goofy escapist, childish saccharine whimsy.
Right.
Which is not the case.
Right.
Okay, let's see. Conan's character. What's up next? Yeah, okay. A hero needs a weakness, an Achilles' heel, and Samson his hair. Both Hercules and Samson are dominated by women. Conan has no weaknesses. He never gets taken out by a friend or relative of someone he killed.
I hate to stop it again already. You're completely right. This is not like a morality play. Conan is not a hero in that definition of what a hero is. Conan just is. Conan is...
He's a force.
He's a personification of a force or of a feeling of a fundamental aspect of male existence.
Yeah.
Which culture and civilization in many ways has attempted to domesticate and eradicate entirely.
Crafty Matt saying relativism has destroyed the imagination of men. Yes. Mm-hmm. The few that had it to begin with.
Yeah, and again,
Conan's
because
strength.
we're not supposed to follow in that kind of an aspirational way what Conan is doing. He doesn't need a weakness
Right.
for the same, because Conan isn't the same type of character as Achilles is.
But he's also, it's like he's not okay, so what we're talking about, this primordial thing and the, you know what, fuck it, I'm not playing by these fake rules you've done. We've talked about this a little bit before about a different type of character, which is the literally me character. And so this is like a more realistic story would give you a literally me character. It'd give
because you
Joaquin
are powerless.
Phoenix as the Joker.
Yeah, you're
you
either
know.
powerless or you just snap.
Right.
Like the
Exactly.
Joker.
Yeah, you're powerless
Or
or
Tyler
you snap.
Durden.
Whereas Conan, he's powerful
Yes.
and he snaps. You know, it's
Right.
like- which is awesome.
Yeah.
It's like it's a much better character than those types because he is a powerful character. He's a potent force.
And Conan never becomes what am I trying to say? Conan doesn't ever become disembodied from the truest aspect of himself.
Yeah.
In that way, Conan just is. He is perfectly integrated with this masculine spirit, and that is all that Conan is and is sort of trying to be. A literally me character exists as a bug man or some
Yeah.
sort of slave in some way, shape, or form until they snap. And Tyler Durden, literally, I don't know that it's me doing
they
this.
snap and they hurt people who don't deserve it.
Yes.
Conan
Never loses control in that way,
yeah,
in the
Conan
truest way of losing
generally
yourself.
is killing people who deserve it in some
Who deserve
sense.
it. And he knows why. He can tell you why. He's not going to give you a treatise. He's going to give you the simple as meme, you know?
Right.
Hate liars, hate bureaucrats.
Yeah.
Simple as.
Not going to turn in my friend.
Not going to turn in my friend. I understand that this person is an effete liar.
I'm a pirate.
I'm a pirate. I am
I'm going
now.
to take your shit.
Yeah. Simple as.
Yes, simple as.
Yep.
Is superhuman. Without a divine source, it is just ridiculous. Conan makes no claim to a patron deity, nor does he claim Crom gives him
Actually, this is an
supernatural
interesting
power.
comment we've got here. Conan could very much be a classical hero. The Greeks defined heroes simply as those who excelled in combat. Most of them were critically flawed people and usually died of their failings.
Yeah, a lot of Greek heroes have some sort of, what's the term? Like, I think haltia is like a fatal flaw. It's some sort of term for this. I mean, he certainly would exist more. I think the Greeks would appreciate him more.
There's another thing I want to think about though is so it's not even just the distinction between the high art and low art thing. The hatred of escapism. I understand. Like we all know what slop is. Like
right, and
the
we all know
fucking
what who the
Minecraft
Bug
movie
Man
or
is.
whatever.
We all know
who
about the
Bug Man
Matrix.
is. But it's like I think hatred of escapism as such is really unhealthy.
Right.
Escapism, like that's what your imagination is. Mm-hmm. You know, is a form of escapism. You know, it's. I don't know exactly what I'm saying here, but
Well, this is connected to your the anti-civilization angle and this flaw in many people who probably in some way think like us misapprehend what is a real conflict and react with moralizing or with being a bore and a prude, being someone who fundamentally hates living, or
Yeah,
is at best eternally suspect of enjoyment as such.
Right. Exactly.
Just that Crom trains a man how to fight and win at battle. He tells the pirate queen Balit in Queen of the Black Coast this, quote, "Their chief is Crom. He dwells on a great mountain. What else to call on him? What use to call on him? Little he cares if men live or die. Better to be silent than to call his attention to you. He will send you dooms, not fortune. He is grim and
Hubris was always the base flaw in Greek tragedies.
Hubris.
Thank you, Biden.
Crafty Matt says, #RPGgate, escapism, not activism, entertainment, not representation, organic inclusion, not forced diversity.
Yeah, I think
Definitely escapism, not activism. I agree with that.
escapism, not activism. And again, escapism does not mean, shouldn't mean, the Terminator 19. I'm just listening to loud sounds
Right.
and bright colors.
The ultimate hatred of escapism is lefty spec fake. Everything in their fiction must be a lefty wish list with the
Yeah,
trappings
ugh.
of whatever gender that they're currently skim-walking.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Now-
so I'll reread this because Biden flubbed some stuff. Thank you for the $10, Seth Gunman. The ultimate hatred of escapism is lefty speculative fiction. Everything in their fiction must be a lefty wish list with the trappings of whatever genre they're currently skinwalking. Yeah.
Yeah. Now, to be fair, this guy we're listening to is definitely not a leftist
yeah.
because he's going to be talking about Carlyle and Spengler soon as it pertains to Conan.
loveless, but at birth he breathes power to strive and slay into a man's soul. What else shall men ask of the gods? Close quote. In the same discourse with Balit, we get Conan's motivations for life. Quote, "I know this, if life is illusion, then I am no less illusion. And being thus, the illusion is real to me. I live, I burn with life, I love, I slay, and am content." Close quote.
Yeah. Simple
What a
as.
Chad.
Yeah, what a Chad.
Conan is not a man, but an animal. If we are going to talk about Spenglerian cycles, decline, and the Kali Yuga, this kind of attitude is clearly decadent to the most extreme degree.
Now we're talking.
Yeah,
This
yeah.
is
Here we go. This is where the video starts.
In at least two
it's like a
stories,
Garibay video.
Yeah.
The Pool of the Black One and the Queen of the Black Coast, Conan is clearly shown as a psychopath. In the Pool of the Black One, Conan straight up murders the ship's captain in a premeditated ambush. In Shadows in the Moonlight, Conan challenges another pirate captain for his ship, but engages in a duel, presumably within the pirate code. The real kicker to the murdering of the captain
Yeah, he wasn't a pirate before that.
That's right. I wasn't on the ship, and therefore was not a pirate.
in the Pool of the Dark Black One is that the captain was leaving his crew to follow one of the inhabitants of the island who had kidnapped a shipmate. By the time Conan is done murdering the man, the boy has been captured and will shortly be turned into petrified bone in the green pool. Captain is said to have been a veteran of many decades of sailing, so his presence would have been a great assistance to Conan and the crew in fighting the Black Ones who ravaged the crew. The entire story is a very morally dark and corrupting narrative. The morality
of the story is not the fundamental point of this or any other Conan story, for the reasons that you've correctly said. And this isn't even a well, you have to judge the Sumerians by their culture and the time that they. It's not that. This isn't a morality play. He's not a hero in an aspirational sense. Mm-hmm. He's a vehicle, and the world is also a vehicle to convey something which has been so lost for so many people and for so long. Back in the beginning of the 20th century, he's writing this.
Right.
You know,
And yeah, exactly.
It tells you how bad
things are now. Because this is a part of our evolution as human beings, was this animal violence. That is a huge part of how we got to be civilized and how we got these larger brains, and all of that was man's capacity for violence and it was a brutal, brutal world. That is all still a huge part of us. This whole, like the environment we live in right now.
And being in touch with that is also necessary for not going
insane. For not going insane. Because we live in a world that is incredible and wonderful in a lot of ways. I like civilization. I'm not an anti-civilization person. But there is a part of me, and there's a part of every man and every woman out there that is incongruous with the world we live in. The world we live in is not is not what our nature is suited to.
Correct.
So to speak. And so there are these aspects that are completely suppressed and completely cut out of you and stomped down. And Conan speaks to that part of you that has been suppressed, that is still a part of your nature. It is an important part of your nature.
Right. It's an important part of your nature.
Is not what is the moral lesson of that. It's conjuring that part of you. And that's why it speaks to you, like I said, on kind of a primordial level. Which
being in tune with is a necessary component of being a more integrated moral person.
Yeah.
Because Conan, again, is not a repudiation of a so-called higher morality or transcendent values in a more abstract or esoteric manner. You know, if Gandalf, a literal angel, was to have a conversation with Conan, he would recognize him for what he is and he wouldn't hate him. Gandalf would not be.
He's an orc, no.
No, Conan is even at his most base is way more human than an orc is.
Yes, I agree.
And Gandalf isn't a nerd, and he would recognize that aspect of Conan's spirit.
Yeah.
And this is actually why Conan is still appealing even now. It is not that men are so base or boys are so base that they're degrading themselves with animalistic escapism and yearn for nothing more than the caves once more. That's not the case, and are just going to be lunatic murderers if they read too much Robert E. Howard.
Crafty's actually bringing some deep lore about Gandalf. He says Gandalf is just some homeless wizard that brought love to Sauron and Galadriel. I didn't know that.
That makes me not like Gandalf.
Yeah.
All right, kids, is if you murder a man, you get a ship, crew, and woman.
This
never
is exactly what all the fucking congressmen and all the women we hear this all the time. We've heard it about video games and movies. Yeah. Think of the what lesson does this tell our children? Not what you think. It does not tell you murder and then you get treats. Like that's like what are you retarded? Like this is like such an autistic misunderstanding. It borders on the bad faith.
That was your own fault. We see casual murder again when Conan in Rogues in the House is walking up the stairway to an apartment where his former lover lives, who ratted him out, and bumps into the new man she is with walking down the stairs. Conan just murders him on the stairs.
What did she do to make Conan so angry?
I
need context here.
I can't imagine context that would
make me not side
with Conan.
Yeah, I've never read about Conan lying or doing anything deceitful or that someone didn't deserve.
Yeah, you're gonna have to explain that one again because that didn't make any sense.
Okay, criminal code, pirates code. You snitch on me, I'm gonna take you out. This is just some random guy in the hallway. Well, he's dead.
It's not random.
It's not random.
It's the guy who his girlfriend cheated on him with.
Right.
That's not random. That's very specific.
Right.
In The Queen of the Black Coast, we also see murder glorified. While trying to shield a friend from investigation, Conan kills the judge leading the investigation.
Yeah.
He then joins a merchant vessel and threatens to kill them all if they do not let him sail with them.
Yeah.
Then when the same merchant vessel is attacked by pirates, he initially fights for their defense. And then when on the pirate ship, sides with Belit and her crew after her entreaties. I know what people are going to say. Well, Conan has to side with...
And he has sex with her.
That is true.
Yeah.
Out of wedlock, I might add.
Yeah.
Bullet. He had no choice. As threadbare as that is, we have his becoming her lover. I mean, you become the lover of the woman whose pirates killed your crewmates. I guess that makes sense since he was threatening to kill them himself at the beginning of the journey.
He stole the boat already.
Moral
This is
perversity of all
exactly... It's the same type of thing as you were saying about Matt Walsh. It's the most...
It's hatred of enjoyment.
It's hatred of enjoyment. It's everything. Everything is a morality play.
Yeah.
Everything is some sort of imminent battle between good and evil. And while that is fundamentally true, not in the way
Right.
that it's being apprehended here.
Right.
It's like you had some point or some example which was very true. It's
I
like
know exactly what the example was. I got a fucking Nick Fuentes clip in my Twitter feed, and this loser was talking about how, going out and like getting a girlfriend, that's like gay, and like, he goes, and it's like the most base thing you could do. Really, it's just to contemplate God on a mountain alone.
yeah.
Like to just completely align yourself with thinking about the transcendent and getting rid of all these worldly things and blah blah. It's like
Fuck
you. Go, just shut up.
Yeah. It's such a fucking bad faith, like evil way of looking that you're actually. It's that type of attitude that actually stops people from being priests and people who
it stops people from having kids.
and from having kids. It stops people from being functioning human beings.
And it's like these things, like experiences like love and sex, enjoyment, combat. These are all a part of of what it means to be a human being.
Right.
And this whole thing of like, you shouldn't nourish your body, you should only nourish your soul. It's like, if you don't nourish your body, you can't nourish your soul because you fucking die.
Right. And someone,
it's like
if someone tries to dedicate their life to the transcendent, at best case scenario, if you are doing it for those reasons of a basically a hatred of existence,
Yes.
of a spiritual guilt at the deepest level of enjoying anything. It's not looking good for you to get on the right path and actually achieve something or connect with something transcendent.
Right. And it's the
You
thing
can't
is,
do it as long as you have that attitude.
But the thing about this is all a false dichotomy.
It's a false dichotomy.
It's a complete
completely.
fucking false dichotomy.
Right.
Like trying to divorce spirit and flesh and all of this stuff in this completely arbitrary and very dumb way. You cannot dany your existence. You do
Yes.
exist.
And it is
And there are certain
sin and a
requirements.
crime to do that.
Yes. I hate this. I really, really hate this. And it is, like you said, personified in Matt Walsh, where he's like, well, I think video games are for children, and if you play video games, you're
a child.
and you're a loser. And
Yeah, you should be working.
You should just be a fucking pack mule and get a job.
Yeah, get raped by your job.
Yeah.
Work 9
Don't
to
you
5.
know your boss needs you? Like,
Right.
fuck you.
Yeah, why aren't you maximizing the suffering
Right.
in your life so that you can be like doing the work?
Right.
You know what I mean? It's like
Fuck you.
there's an aspect of like, yeah, men have to go have
Nietzsche would have a field day with that guy.
Nietzsche would have a field day with that guy. Yeah.
yeah.
$2. Pyrella, another one, $5.
I bet men who sit on a mountain and contemplate God like it at least 50 times a day.
Many such cases.
This is clear. Imagine Achilles, Ajax, Hector, or Aeneas doing these things. Someone will then look at the times Conan did help people, the Tower of the Elephant, and the elephant hybrid creature, the Black.
This guy is making me rethink my dislike of Michael Bay films.
Thank you for the $5.
I do hate Michael Bay films.
Colossus, etc. I argue that this merely shows that there are at least two Conans, the psychopathic murderer and the friend of the little guy. It hardly needs telling that they cannot be the same man.
They actually are the same man.
Anti-civilization.
Yeah. It's not hard for me to see that. I understand it's fully integrated and it makes sense.
Correct.
There's a lot of quotes here, so I'm not gonna even.
Yeah, you are assigning the false
The Phoenix on the
dichotomy.
sword.
Yeah.
The men faltered, wild, criminal, and dissolute though they were, yet they came of a breed men called civilized, with a civilized background. Here was the barbarian, the natural killer. They shrank back. The dying tiger could still deal death.
The ultimate expression of this was St. Jerome. Everyone should be a virgin, and the only good thing about marriage was that it made more virgins.
Shadows in the moonlight. Her lip twisted in a bitter smile. I, civilized men, sell their children as slaves to savages sometimes. They call your race barbaric, Conan of Chimera.
Oh, and the flip side of this, because I can't really, it's hard for me to see the comments, but I'm sure someone has probably brought this up. When I say things like the physicality, the like sex is important, these sorts of things, that also does not mean
Be an absolute
fucking degenerate animal.
Right.
You know,
This is
not
where
what I'm.
This is not BAP is wrong.
Obviously, just like, living like Caligula and
Right.
like, no, that's not
Living like a junkie in the
it
streets
either.
of San Francisco or in the third world.
Right.
Like, it doesn't stop willfully being insane.
Yeah.
Stop putting this false dichotomy.
Right.
Like, it doesn't have to be the extreme. You don't have to take me. You don't have to choose to interpret me in bad faith.
Well, because those people are going in the opposite direction of the transcendent means nothing. It's literally only
the physical.
flesh and the experience.
Right.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
When it's,
I can't feel alive unless I'm cooming constantly.
Right. Exactly.
I don't get the dopamine hits. Please,
Yeah.
please. I have to buy more shit.
right. It's almost as if, once again, it's a false dichotomy, and there's a third position where those things are integrated with one another.
The Tower of the Elephant. The Chimeran glared about, embarrassed at the roar of mocking laughter that greeted this remark. He saw no particular humor in it, and he was too new to civilization to understand its discourtesies. Civilized men are more discourteous than savages because they know they can be impolite without having their skulls split as a general thing.
Yeah.
He was bewildered and chagrined and doubtless would have slunk away abashed. But the Kothian chose to goad him further. Again, from the Tower of the Elephant, he did not trouble his head about them. He knew that Zamora's religion, like all things of civilized, long-settled people, was intricate and complex, and had lost most of the pristine essence in a maze of formulas and rituals. He had squatted for hours in the courtyard of the philosophers, listening to the arguments of theologians and teachers, and came away in a haze of bewilderment. Sure of only
Zen Gunman here, I think we can recognize that we are, in fact, organisms while also aspiring to higher things. Correct.
Mm-hmm.
one thing, and that they were all touched in the head. No civilized man could move half so quickly as the barbarian moved.
Butt quack. Thank you. Stopping in during 15-minute break. My favorite line in Conan the Barbarian is when Arnold says, "My name, Conan, the Barbarian."
And he looks at the camera.
That he did
Yeah.
not instantly explode in a burst of murderous frenzy is a fact that measures his horror, which paralyzed him where he stood. A civilized man in his position would have sought doubtful refuge in the conclusion that he was insane. It did not occur to the Chimeran to doubt his senses. He knew he was face to face with the demon of the elder world, and the realization robbed him of his faculties except sight. The slithering shadow. The chance for life had lent fresh vigor and resilience to the Chimerian's steely thews. He strode out across the sandy waste as if he had just...
Is he saying Chimerian instead of Cimmerian?
Samaria, he's saying it wrong.
Oh, man.
It's so over, man.
You're going to fucking go after the lore, and you can't even say
the word right.
Samaria and Cimmerian. All right. I was like, what nation is he talking about?
Yeah. On the journey. A barbarian of barbarians, the vitality and endurance of the wild were his. Granted him survival where civilized men would have perished.
Yeah.
Rogues in the house.
Yeah.
When asked by Merlot to kill the priest Nabonidus, and Conan responds, the Chimerians show no sign of surprise or perturbation. He had none of the fear or reverence for authority that civilization instills in men. King or beggar, it was all one to him. Nor did he ask why Merlot had come to him, when the quarters were full of cutthroats outside prisons. I smelled the perfume you put on your hair when you came to my cell, answered Conan. I smelled it again a while ago, when I was crouching in the dark and preparing to rip you open. Merlot put a lock of his hair to his nostrils. Even so, the scent was barely apparent to his civilized senses, and he realized how keen must be the organs of the barbarian.
Crafty, I got to say thank you for the other guy's reference. I do love that movie.
Queen of the Black Coast. He was a valiant trencherman, and strong drink was.
So we don't need to listen to all of these quotes. So
we probably shouldn't, because it's 10:17. We are going to have to get the raffle going.
Yeah. I mean,
but we'll wrap it up. Yeah.
This point, and we touched on this before. This argument that Conan is anti-civilization. This is obviously an explicit theme in Conan and anti-civilization, but it's not anti-civilization as such in the idea.
Not anti-civilization of like having buildings.
Yeah, I mean, it's like, how I don't understand how this is not understandable for
immediately clear.
Like, dude, you talk about Spengler on your channel frequently, and you do civilizational historical analyses. Even in that quote, like Zamoria, it has lost touch with its rituals and rites and traditions.
Yeah.
Does that sound familiar? Does that sound Spenglerian to you? Does that sound like something you should recognize? Is that not an accurate criticism of late stage, like, dysgenic and diseased civilization? Is that not a thing that happens? Like, what the fuck? Like you wouldn't say that Oswald Spengler is anti-civilization because he's apprehending a problem and giving a prognosis.
Yeah.
Any more than you would anyone who's basically telling the truth about our time.
Yeah.
Like, this is so insane. And nobody who reads Conan and likes Conan is saying to themselves, yes, I must go back to the wastes and live like a gorilla in the jungle, like Conan did, so I can have the panther-like agility or the animal-like cunning and pristine senses that are not debased by the presence of cities.
Right.
That's not what's going on here. It's a man, Robert E. Howard, is basically making
we do have to get to his one correct point.
The one correct point, and it is the
ultimate correct point about
right. You can. I'm ranting. A lot.
Is the correct point, and we're gonna get onto the raffle in just a minute. But the biggest red flag.
Super chat.
Conan spends his money in bars with friends, picking up women and fighting men. Not exactly anti-civilization, just lives is life.
Yeah, exactly.
That's
just
right.
Lives is life. Thank you, President Biden. But the one big red flag about Conan is that Howard killed himself, and this is not a joke.
Yes.
Conan would never kill himself.
Correct.
So Howard's actions kind of gives
it sours
it, and there's a tell here that there is perhaps
there is a kind of desperation.
There's a desperation. There's an inconsistency with the stories. You can still appreciate the stories for what they are, but that is a big red flag.
Yeah.
All right, let me find some names here.
All right.
Bum, bum, bum. Go to YouTube Studio.
All right.
Painted Conan a mini today. Awesome video.
Hell yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, I saw this in my subscriptions like last week, and I started watching like, holy shit, dude. I'm losing my mind.
Right.
You hate to see it.
Yeah. All right. So,
Right.
starting from the top, we had Crublord Spider Pig, previous winner. We have Rob McKenna. We have Zen Gunman.
Crafty.
Crafty's in there. Ergo Eero Turgum. Mayor.
When I tried to live with gorillas, Harambe died.
What did it say?
When I tried to live with gorillas, Harambe died.
You
F's in
murdered him.
chat.
Yeah. We have Ear Trumpet, Benjathan, Jewish Skeptic, Andrew McGraw.
Oh, that's not USD. Okay.
Oh, Ear Trumpet's not USD. That's right. That's right. Bum, bum, bum. Doc Flamingo, another winner.
Previous winner.
Previous winner, rather. We got
Crafty
on there,
already.
Andrew McGraw already. Mayor McCheese already. Skeptic already. Doc Flamingo. Is Benjathan on there? Yep. Pyrella. We got Rob. Same ones. Hero Porch. Did Porch win one time? I feel like he did.
I think so.
Pyrella. Dayless
Benjamin is
Rain.
saying he lives in the UK.
Okay. So we'll take you off. Thank you.
Don't send me. Okay.
Yeah. All right.
Thank you,
Benjamin's
man.
coming off there. Thank you for letting us know. Common J is here.
We have Zen Gunman already. Okay.
Yep. Dare to Wonder is not USD.
I think
That was the one that came in, the Painted the Conan mini.
Yeah.
He's played with us. He's in
Yeah.
yeah. Okay.
All right. I think that's everybody.
Right, let me
And then we
share
got
this
another one
up.
from Mayor McCheese, but
But he's already
Yeah.
on the list. All right, let me share
all
this
right,
over.
let's share it up.
Screen share. Woo! You're seeing our behind the scenes YouTube studio.
Window capture is what you want.
I want
Wheel. Oh, there it is.
There we go. Bring that over here. All right.
All right, boys.
Let's
Are we ready?
spin the
Oh
wheel.
my God. No.
Common
Hell
J. Common J is the winner
Congrats,
of this
dude.
giant
The real white dragon.
Yeah. So send us an email at Black Lodge Games RPG. What is it? It's Black Lodge Games RPG at gmail.com. Or you can actually do Matt at blacklodgegames.com. Or find me on Discord, something. We'll get your address. I'll need your first and last name so we can actually send it to you. They made me do that last time. We'll get your address. We'll send it out to you, and you'll have this giant cool dragon. So
Yeah.
let's see. Let's
Hell
see
yeah.
what the chat's got going on.
Yeah,
now.
we missed a lot.
Congratulations.
Missed a lot as we were watching
Right.
and listening.
Get back
Let's
to
see
it.
what the
Here
people
we
have to
go.
say.
Rigged as always.
Yes. Always rigged.
I know I didn't enter, but still rigged. Let's see here. Stop the wheel. Yeah. It's tragic, but on the other hand, look at the impact he made in so little time. Yep. If you're 30, you've got double the time he has still left over to write something cool. Yeah. Let me see here. Crafty, someone was asking. No, I missed it. Damn it. Where'd it go? Crafty was asking who Spengler is.
Oswald Spengler is a German author and mathematician. He wrote Decline of the West.
Pretty sure Conan was actually a lion with a goat, lion, and serpent head. Some people should be stopped from having kids. That is true.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think Howard was making a moralist point with Conan. Correct.
Yeah, he was not.
Which is why saying, well, what's the moral of this story is bad faith.
Missing the point.
Yeah, and missing the point. And Conan never considers the morality of his actions. Rather, Conan is elemental. Exactly.
Yeah.
Because Howard admires elementalism. Exactly. Matt Walsh, the spiritual boomer. Yeah. Shaking my head. The BLG guys don't get Fuentes. Cringe. I do get Fuentes, dude.
I get him.
I get him. He is insanely cringe. And such a bitter woman.
Yeah.
About
He is
everything.
an enemy.
Yeah.
100%.
You can only choose good if you are first strong. The weak just get blown along. Conan becomes a good king despite being an amoral man because he was strong enough to have the choice. Yeah. He's a Nietzschean figure in many senses. Opinions on Howard's other characters, such as Solomon Kane. I have not read Solomon Kane. I'm sure I would like it.
I like
though.
Solomon Kane, but I haven't read much of it. I need to read all of it. I said at the beginning, I actually prefer Kull the Conqueror as a character to Conan.
Cellsock's asking, Oyster can fit in with all manner of settings, but Bloodmoor is its own setting. How do you envision fitting into existing settings? Fitting
Bloodmoor or fitting the Oyster into existing settings?
Well, the Oyster is just sort of pseudo-medieval land.
Yeah, it's a place with a bunch of characters.
It's a place with a bunch of characters.
Pretty easy.
Bloodmoor is an entire world composed of characters like that.
Yeah.
And is also medieval, but there's a bunch of different lands
Shit
that are
going
all
on.
different. Yeah, that are all different flavored.
I mean, if you wanted to, you could have Bloodmoor be its own place in unexplored territory.
That's
but
true.
More than likely, Bloodmoor may come to you.
Oh, fitting Bloodmoor into existing campaigns. Oh, well, your characters can get ripped out of their own reality, kind of like Ravenloft,
Right.
into
Yep.
Bloodmoor.
Yep.
That's how it would fit. But putting Bloodmoor into an existing campaign setting that'd be like fitting the Forgotten Realms into Dark Sun.
Yeah.
They're two different
They're
places.
just on the other side of the planet.
There's a different continent.
The continent.
Yeah.
They don't know about each other.
The 2000 Solomon Kane is actually very entertaining. Great atmosphere. Is it modular? The Bloodmoor is not. It's not a module. It's a campaign setting. So it's like a full world. And you can put modules into it, and we'll have adventures that are primarily Bloodmoor adventures, but like the Shucked Oyster can be used elsewhere. But Bloodmoor is not a module, so to speak. It's a world.
I mean, you could we have some classes, we have some ancestries. You could you could use those in a world which is not specifically Bloodmoor if you wanted to, I guess. You could take certain characters perhaps and retool them. But it's not intended to be a kind of modular toolbox in that way.
Yeah. Does anyone else turn historical conspiracy or analog horror into adventure? Or is it just me? Yeah, I mean, I think a lot of people have done
I think there's
that.
a lot of historical conspiracy. I haven't seen... you can definitely do some backroom stuff, analog horror with Victor Gorchev's Blacklight.
That is true. Solomon Kane movie is Kino. Totally holds up. I haven't seen it.
I didn't watch it. I felt like there's no way it was going to be good. But if people say that it is good, maybe I will revisit.
Yeah. Anyway, we're at our 2-hour mark.
Yep.
So it's been good to hang out with you and see you all guys.
As always.
And we're always happy that you're sticking around and watching us shout about Conan and all sorts of stuff. And we're going to call it a night. So thank you very much, guys.
See you
Have a
soon.
good one.